A seller called me recently to list her home, a beautiful house right here in the desert. And in our very first conversation, she said something that drives me crazy.
Darlin, I'm in no hurry to sell, so let's price it high and just see what happens.
I've heard some version of that phrase more times than I can count. So today, I'm going to tell you why each of those words work against you. Now, I want to be clear. I'm not here to judge any seller who has said that. I get it. Selling your house is emotional. And for most of you, it's the single largest financial transaction of your life. But here's the thing. The real estate market doesn't care about your feelings. And when you let emotional instincts drive your decisions, you pay a very real price. Hi. For those of you who are new to my channel, I'm Darlene Harwick, Realtor here in the Coachella Valley. All right, let's get into it.
I'm in no hurry to sell. I can just wait to get my price.
What? In real estate, time is not your friend. You do want to be in a rush when you sell your home. And I'll tell you why. The first 30 days, even the first few days when your house is on the market, is when your price is the best and the highest price. Now, buyers are always looking and they'll think, hey, this just came on the market. I know other buyers will want to look at it and I want to get there before them. And that's when buyers are going to pounce on your home. You, seller, will know within the first 2 weeks whether or not you have a hot listing. And how do you know? Because you're getting a lot of showings and probably an offer or two. Now, I see a lot of sellers say,
Well, great. I'm getting all these offers so early. Just imagine how much more I'll get if I keep waiting.
it doesn't work that way. Sellers get dumbfounded when later offers come in lower than the first ones. Every single day your house sits on the market, it's sending a signal to every buyer who scrolls past it online or drives by it. And that signal reads, why hasn't anyone bought this yet? Keep this in mind. Buyers look on Zillow to see how many days a house is on the market. And once a listing goes stale, which is usually 30 to 45 days in most markets, the buyers lose interest. They get cautious. They're thinking, what's wrong with the house? Is the seller unrealistic? And even worse, they're thinking, how long will this price go down before I can just wait them out? Now, here in our resort cities, well-priced homes are going under contract in under 50 days, sometimes under 21 days. When your home lingers past that time frame, negotiating power shifts, and it shifts away from you. There's also a carrying cost that so many sellers forget to run the numbers on. Every month you're in no hurry, you're paying your mortgage, your property taxes, HOA fees, utilities, insurance. A home in the $700,000 to $900,000 range can easily run $4,000 to $6,000 a month, walking right out the door. 6 months of no hurry is costing you anywhere from $24,000 to $36,000 before you even count a single price reduction. Now, you still feel like you're in no hurry? And look, this doesn't mean you need to panic or rush. What it means is that no hurry is not a strategy. A strategy has a clear timeline, a competitive price, and an intentional plan. No hurry is just hope with a price tag attached. Now, this one I want to spend more time on because it's the most expensive mindset I see.
I'm in no hurry to sell. I can just wait to get my price.
And how do I know this? Because of something I call the window of opportunity. When your listing hits the market for the very first time, buyers who have been waiting, and there's always motivated buyers waiting, they see your home for the first time and they're genuinely interested. That is your peak moment of leverage. You'll never have more buyer attention focused on your home than in those first 2 or 3 weeks on the market. Now, if you're priced right in that window, those buyers will compete. You may get multiple offers, potentially above asking, and a quick close. Now, it can be different in some micro markets that are still appreciating and have little inventory. So those sellers can test the price. But that's not most markets. You have to know what market you're in. Because if you're overpriced, those buyers move on to the next home that is priced correctly. And now you're waiting. And then comes the price reduction. And here's the painful irony that most sellers don't see coming. Rather than re-exciting buyers, a price reduction triggers more questions. They're thinking, why did they drop it? What's wrong with this house? How desperate are they? Here's the truth. Homes that start overpriced and require a price reduction typically end up selling for less than homes that were priced correctly from day one. You don't make more money by starting high. You make less, and you go through a lot more stress to get there. And here's another thing I hear from sellers.
I don't want a bunch of strangers walking through my house. I just know my nosy neighbors want to see inside.
I hear this especially from sellers who are still living in their home while it's listed. And look, I get it. Your home is personal. You have belongings, your routine, maybe some pets, maybe a family member who just isn't comfortable with a parade of people coming through on short notice or through an open house. But here's the honest truth. Limiting access to your home directly limits the number of buyers who can fall in love with it. Think about it this way. Anybody who will buy your home is a stranger, including those nosy neighbors you don't know. A buyer won't make an offer on a home they haven't seen. Now, online photos are great, and a virtual tour absolutely helps. But for most buyers, they want to see it for themselves. You never know. Maybe one of those nosy neighbors see your house and say, well, hey, I like this house better than mine. And they make you an offer. Now, buyers relocating from out of state, which really describes a very significant portion of our market out here in the valley, well, they want to physically walk through before committing. They want to feel the space, and they want to see the light that moves through the living room in the afternoon. They want to know if the kitchen works for how they actually live. When a seller sets restrictions like 24-hour advance notice or weekends only from noon to 4, those restrictions knock out a meaningful percentage of qualified, motivated buyers. And buyers who feel like they're jumping through hoops just to see your property, they'll just move on to the next one. I know it's a pain, but try very hard to accommodate all showings. Now, protecting your privacy while keeping your home accessible is a balance you can strike. Have a plan to step out during the showings. Maybe go for a walk or go for a coffee run. Your goal is to make it as easy as possible for the buyer to walk through your front door and absolutely fall in love. And that buyer needs to actually get inside. Now, let's pull this all together. Because these three mindsets don't just live in isolation from each other. The seller who's in no hurry will want to list at a higher price because they've got time. The seller who prices too high limits showings because they figure the right buyer will materialize eventually. And the result is a listing that stagnates, loses its momentum, and slowly becomes a source of stress for the seller rather than a path to their next chapter. The homes that sell quickly, smoothly, and at the best possible price, well, their agent priced the home to attract attention, not just to see what happens. They create a showing experience that welcomes buyers rather than filtering them out. The time on market is a real cost, not a free luxury. Selling your home is not a waiting game. It's an active strategy. And every decision you make in those critical first weeks either builds momentum or it kills it. So if you're thinking about selling your home here in the Valley, whether it's a 55 plus community, golf course property, or your primary residence. I'd love to help you put it together, a strategy built on data, not just hope. It's easy to get in touch with me. All my contact information is listed below this video. Well, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.